It's springtime at Red Wing. Now that the ice is out on the river otters are back, making almost daily appearances, and the forest is coming alive. And that means it's time to start tapping maple trees. Daytime temps are in the 40s, evening temps are still freezing. The perfect freeze-thaw cycle to get that sap flowing up into the trees. It's really important that when you head out to tap maple trees, you wear all green sweatshirt, green pants, green buckets, so that the maple trees don't see you coming. I'm not very good at identifying maple trees without their leaves. So last fall, the leaves were colored brightly. I walked around our forest and I wrapped every sugar maple with a green ribbon so that I knew easily which trees would be ready for tapping come springtime. You don't need any real special equipment. This is a tapping bit that cost about $20 and a plastic tap that was a couple of cents. Drill a hole at a slight angle, about 1.5 inches, not more than 2 inches deep. And you can see the sap already flowing from the tree right after drilling the hole.
Go ahead.
When you tap in your tap, listen. You'll hear it made a different sound on that last tap. That's when you know you're in far enough. I use tubing rather than hanging buckets from the tree. Small section down into a lid where I've drilled a hole almost exactly the same size, if not slightly smaller than the tubing. I like a nice tight fit, and that way if there's any snow or rain, it generally doesn't run into the bucket. It seals up pretty tightly. When I'm collecting sap, I like to take a little clear glass with me. Dip it into the bucket, make sure that it's absolutely clear and not cloudy, and I give it a little taste. Should taste like sweet water. Nothing bitter, and no aftertaste, and no funky smell. Once the leaf buds pop on the trees, the sap will start to turn cloudy, and it'll get a different, funky, sometimes a bitter taste. And then it's time to pull the taps and call it a season. Whenever I'm collecting sap, I always make sure that the bucket that I'm pouring into has a lid. That way if I fall while I'm walking, I don't lose my entire day's effort in one shot. And when I'm snapping the lids back on the buckets on each tree, I only snap it on 2 sides, and I leave it a little loose on the other edges so that there's a little bit of air gap in between. Doing this prevents a vacuum from forming inside the bucket, where the tree can actually suck the sap back out of the bucket and back into the tree. My little buddy Luna is always with me when I'm collecting sap. He really doesn't do much work though. We'll have to work on that. It really doesn't have to take much money to get started tapping maple trees. A couple of bucks for the drill bit, but you could use a regular, nice, sharp drill bit if you wanted to. The idea is that you want to cut the fibers of the tree, not tear them. A couple of bucks for some buckets, some lids, and the taps are 10 of them for less than 10 bucks. So for under 50 bucks, you can get a pretty good system going. Some people asked me about the buckets that I was using. As long as the label on the bottom of the bucket says number 2 HDPE or high density polyethylene, they're food safe. Now it's time to head back to the house and get that sap boiling. I always forget that one last tree in our front yard, and it's one of our best producers. I think because it's one of the first ones to come into the sun. You can usually tell which trees are going to be running well by how much snow is melted around the base of the tree. As the frost comes out of the ground, that sap starts to flow up into the tree and into your buckets. Who needs a gym membership? Not this guy. In our next video, we'll talk a little more about boiling this sap down. Once again, we've used what we have on hand. No fancy equipment, but it gets the job done. Nice and clear.
Nice pinky up.
Glug, 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 glug.
Rob. What was it?
I'm milking my maple trees. The little Geppetto wants some maple syrup. Drink. I milk a little Geppetto.
What was it?
I'm milking my maple trees. The little Geppetto wants some maple syrup. Drink. I milk a little Geppetto.
You want to say something?